No one noticed the house at first. That was the first lie it told. It stood at the edge of the forest like a rotting tooth in a dead mouth, silent, patient, waiting. Its windows were black holes, its door swollen with age, its walls breathing the smell of decay and old suffering. People passed it every day without realizing. Their footsteps slowed, their hearts beat faster, their skin crawled for no reason they could explain. And every night, the house listened. The locals called it the Hollow House, because anyone who entered came out hollow. If they came out at all. They said screams leaked from its walls after midnight. They said shadows moved inside even when no lights were on. They said women felt it watching them more closely, breathing with them, sinking with their heartbeats. Most people laughed, until people began to disappear. The invitation. Emily never believed in haunted places. She was practical, rational, someone who needed proof before fear. That's why when her friend Sarah dared her to spend one night inside the abandoned house, she laughed. One night, Sarah said. Just one. If it's haunted, we'll know. They brought 2 other friends, Mark and Lena, and arrived just before sunset. The moment Emily stepped onto the porch, her heart skipped. Not fear, recognition. The house felt familiar. Like it remembered her. The front door creaked open by itself. No wind, no touch, just waiting. Inside the house, the air inside was thick, heavy, and wrong. It smelled like wet wood, rust, and something older, something rotten that had once been alive. The floor groaned beneath their weight, but not like old wood groans. It sounded more like a sigh. Do you hear that? Lena whispered. Yes, the house seemed to answer. They explored room by room. Furniture covered in white sheets. Mirrors cracked down the middle. Walls scarred with deep scratches. Too long, too deep to be human. In the hallway, Emily felt it. A hand, not touching, hovering inches from her back. Her heart raced. Her breath shortened. She turned. Nothing. But the hallway behind her was longer than before. The first night, at midnight, the house changed. The temperature dropped suddenly. The walls began to whisper. Not words, but names. Sarah screamed first. Her shadow on the wall moved differently than her body. It stretched, twisted, and then peeled itself off the wall like wet skin. The lights flickered. When they came back on, Sarah was gone. No sound, no struggle, just absence. Then the screaming began, from inside the walls. The spirits revealed themselves. They weren't ghosts. They were Rohin, ancient entities bound to the house by ritual and blood. Spirits that fed not on flesh, but on fear, despair, and prolonged suffering. They did not kill quickly. They loved the process. Mark ran. The hallway folded in on itself. Doors slammed shut. The house rearranged itself like a living maze. They found Mark in the basement. Alive, but begging. Something invisible was wrapped around him, tightening slowly. His bones cracked, not all at once, but one by one. His screams echoed, magnified, stretched until they didn't sound human anymore. The Rowan whispered to him softly. Fear tastes better when it lasts. They let him die slowly. Emily watched. The house made sure of it. Emily tried to escape. Every door led back inside. Every window showed the same room. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it would tear through her chest. That's when the house spoke, directly into her mind. You were here before. Memories flooded back. A childhood fire. A screaming mother. A ritual performed to save a dying child. Emily. The house had been built to contain the Rohin. And Emily had been the price. She wasn't just visiting. She was coming home. The torment begins. The Rohin didn't attack her immediately. They wanted her fear mature. They showed her visions. Women dragged screaming into darkness. Hearts beating so hard they burst. Minds breaking before bodies did. They made her relive every regret, every secret shame. Her heartbeat echoed through the house like a drum. Faster, faster, until she collapsed. The spirits gathered around her, invisible yet crushing, pressing down on her chest until breathing became pain. You belong to us, they whispered. Lena's fate. Lena tried to fight. The house punished her. Her reflection in a mirror smiled when she didn't. Then it stepped out of the glass and wrapped itself around her. The Rohin forced Lena to listen to her own heartbeat through the walls, loud, slow, inevitable. They stopped her heart only after she begged them to. The house drank her fear. Emily reached the attic. There, she found the truth carved into the walls. The house wasn't haunted. It was hungry. It survived by binding Rohin to itself and luring humans inside. Every soul fed the house. Every scream reinforced the walls. And Emily. Emily was the key that kept the Rohin trapped. If she left, they would be free. The house shook. The Rohin screamed, not in rage, but in anticipation. The ending before the last breath. Emily stood at the door as dawn approached. Freedom was inches away. Behind her, the house begged. Not with words, with memories, with guilt, with fear. She turned back. The door slammed shut. The house sighed in relief. Years later, people still pass the abandoned house. Sometimes, they hear a woman crying softly inside, not screaming. Waiting. And if you ever feel your heartbeat suddenly racing near an abandoned house, it's not fear. It's recognition. The house has noticed you. And it is hungry.